What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, back for another live. This time, again, part 6 of the Pokemon series. And obviously, I can't count too well. It's got who knows how many fingers up in my hands. But I am going to cover some really cool stuff today. And we've got a heck of a lot of shoes to cover as well. So as usual, guys and girls, tell me where you're coming from. Tell me what city you're in. And I always look at the comments here and there. And I always respond to the comments and questions. So if you ever have a comment or question, leave it there. I will get to it, I promise. And if you doubt something that you're trying to buy, just ask me. I'll let you know what I'm trying to buy. Today, we've got a lot to really cover about Pokemon in general, which, again, a lot of people have been really loving the Pokemon stuff. And as usual, let me know in the comments how much you like that. If you've actually been trying to get some Pokemon stuff, if you haven't, if you've seen it and aren't sure. Today, we're also going to talk about the brand new Pokemon stuff that just dropped and that is available online and in stores, and how you should be looking for that and trying to cop all that and a heck of a lot more. So I'm going to start by showing my screen here in a minute. And like I said, at any point in time, if you have questions or comments, let me know what they are. I will be more than happy to answer those. And I know behind me, it might be a mess, but I'm actually moving from my apartment and getting another apartment. And so it's kind of messy back here. There's a lot of boxes, if you guys can see that. However, ignore all that stuff and ignore the lighting. It's always this apartment's really difficult to film in because I've got so much backlight because it's all glass. And in front, it's just like, I don't think you guys want to see my kitchen because you can imagine. I don't actually cook at all, but right now I've got a house guest, so it's kind of a little bit messy. So, all right, let's jump into my screen share so you guys can see what we're talking about and what we're dealing with here in terms of Pokemon cards, right? That's what we're here to learn about. That's what we want to see. So I'm going to go into full presentation mode here and make sure you guys just see my presentation. So let me go ahead and pull that up here. You probably see a bunch of junk right now. So let me go ahead and grab that presentation. Here we go. And let's start it from the top. So awesome. You guys know what we're here to talk about. This is the product you should be selling in 2021. This is part 6 of who knows how many parts, because there's still so much to cover. We've only covered the singles. We haven't even covered like what you should be buying in terms of boxes, what you should be buying in terms of packs. So we still got a lot to go. So I'm going to go fast and furious through this. As usual, it'll be left on YouTube for your viewing pleasure. So you can take a look at that later on whenever you want. Take some notes. I'm not showing what I'm doing right now. You can't see my face. All you can see is the screen, just so you have it in full, real, like high definition, and you can take notes if that's what you want to do. So let's talk about what we're going to be trying to sell this week, as well as what I've copped, what I've sold, what's coming up, and what I would be on the lookout for if I was you right this moment. And today we're going to talk about, this guy's going to pop up a little bit, Arcanine. And last time Chris mentioned that I'm butchering the Pokemon names. Well, it's not like I hang out with other Pokemon people and talk about Pokemon all day, Chris. I'm just reading them off of wherever I see them, or when I sell them, I notice their names. So that's why I'm butchering them, and I'm all right with that. I hope you guys are all right with that. Just realize that I'm not going to pronounce them right at all. So hopefully I got his name right. But we're here to talk about the hottest product of 2021. And today we're going to go into 3rd generation Pokemon cards. Now, we've already talked about 1st gen, which is our standard red, white, and blue, almost like the American flag, right, on the back. And we're referring to the Pokeball on the back and the colors on the back of the card. We also talked about 2nd generation and the Neo cards, and how there was a lot of really sexy cards and sexy series in that particular generation of cards. Today, we're going to talk about something called what's known as the X era, and this is 3rd generation Pokemon. And the reason it's called the X era is because of a particular couple of cards that were introduced during this particular generation. But it primarily introduced 2 new rarities, which were known as the ultra rares and the hyper rares. So the ultra rares, they come in the form of what's known as X cards, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute when I share a picture with you guys. And those come 1 in every 24 packs. So 1 in every 24 packs, there was an ultra rare in there. And the ultra rare, depending on which one it was, could be very popular, very expensive. And you can make a lot of money with this, particularly if you buy them raw. So I'm going to talk about which ones you can buy raw. And then I must talk about a couple other things here in a second. The second set of rarity introduced was the hyper rare, which comes in the form of gold stars. And those come 1 in every 72 packs. Those weren't really as popular as the ultra rares, but still, we're going to talk a little bit more about this here in a second. Now, the 3rd generation had many, many sets. However, a lot of them were not worthwhile. So today, the way that we're going to cover these is much different than we've covered them in the past. In the past, we covered every single set that was available. But what we're going to do from this point forward is we're only going to cover the worthwhile ones. So that might mean we skip a couple sets. And if you see those couple sets, it's because they're probably really like not the greatest. So this generation in particular had the lowest sales in terms of games and cards. So what does that mean for you? It means that there are lower print numbers and that cards are more rare. And as a result, we're not going to cover all the cards and all the sets. We're just going to go over the particular cards. But these particular generation has a lot more rare cards. You can make a lot more money with it. They flip, they sell fast because of the fact that they weren't printed as high as some of the other cards. And again, this happens with every generation of Pokemon cards. Right now, we know that Champion's Path, which is from the current era of Pokemon cards, is overprinted, as well as it's kind of saturated. So if you purchase it, you can't expect to flip it and make too much unless you hang on to it. Now, I have seen some pretty decent profits from it, but not like the rest of the other ones that we can actually grab, right? So let's continue talking about third generation. The first set that we're going to talk about is known as the Ruby and Sapphire set. Now, this is the start of the third gen, and it wasn't the best, right? It was like meh, like meh. When I say it's meh, it's just like, it's kind of like when you're so excited to go eat at a restaurant, you're looking forward to it. You finally get there, you order what you think you're going to absolutely love, and it's kind of like meh, so you're like, I'm never going to come back here again. It was so not worth it. And the thing about Ruby and Sapphire is the holos, which we've come to know as being extremely valuable, they're less valuable. And now these cards called the X's have taken the spotlight, starting in the Ruby and Sapphire. Obviously, they were introduced in third generation. And the other thing is that every set has those reverse holos that we talked about in the second generation. And they got reverse holo versions of all the commons, the uncommon cards, the rare cards, and the holo rares. But the reverse holos are not available on X's or Gold Stars, which was the two brand new rarities introduced in the third generation. Now, the most valuable card from this particular set is the Mewtwo X, which we're about to take a look at right here. This is the Mewtwo X. This is what it means as an X card. You notice that there's the EX right next to his name. And you also notice that like the back is holographic and such. So again, this is what I mean when I say an X card. All it does is it says X up at the top. And it's a totally different card. So this is the Mewtwo X card. This one does pretty good if you're selling or reselling Ruby and Sapphire. All right, so the next set in this generation, and the other thing that I forgot to mention is third generation has so many sets that it's going to probably take us a couple of webinars to actually cover this. That way we go and we get into all of them. But the second set from this that's worth talking about is one called Sandstorm. And now Sandstorm was similar to Ruby and Sapphire in that it's meh. It's kind of like the food we ordered at the restaurant. It's just meh, right? The only worthy card in this, there's two that are pretty decent, is the Typhlosion X and the Wailord X, which is over here on the right-hand side. Looks like a giant whale, and it says clearly Wailord X. So that card is pretty decent. So if you're looking or if you come across these, those two are pretty valuable. Those are the two that you'd want to go for, and those are the two that resell pretty quickly and pretty instantly. All right, so the next one is the Dragon set. And the thing about the Dragon set is that this was the first really good set with a couple of sought-after X cards. Now, the most valuable of those cards are the Dragonite X, the Latias X, and the Latios X. And I'm probably butchering those names, and I'm fine with that. Also valuable in this Dragon set are three secret rares that were Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard. All three of those are worthwhile if you can buy them for $100 raw, which for those of you that have been attending this regularly, raw means just straight up fresh out of the pack, near mint, just opened out of the pack. And the first Charizard in this Gen 3 set is worth $1,200 if you can get a PSA 10, which basically means you get your hands on a raw one, you send it into PSA, they grade it. If they grade it at least a PSA 10, or if they grade it the top, which is the PSA 10, that card is worth $1,200 at least. That was as of a while ago. It's probably a little bit more than that now. If you take a look at the prices on eBay, you'll get an exact price of what it can sell for right now. So this Charizard right here, it's from 2003. It's a X. No, this is the holograph. This is the special one. This was a 9 mint, and I forgot what it was selling for, but this is one of the actual cards that we're talking about. This is the special card. So that's the card, and that's kind of what you should be looking for in that set. Now, the next set is the Team Magma versus the Team Aqua. And again, another just meh set. But there were a couple valuable cards in this. Those were Ray Cow. I spelled this wrong on the slide, so excuse me, but on the right-hand side, it is spelled correctly. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Ray Cow, Antai, and Suicune. I think that's what Chris said. It's Suicune. So Suicune X, all those in the X forms are pretty decent. If you can get these raw, and then you can get them graded by PSA. It's an easy flip because these are extremely popular. I believe these might have been like all dog looking Pokemon, and they're good to hold as I said before, you're not gonna have trouble selling these in the future because they sell extremely well right now. So getting your hands on these in the raw form and then flipping them later is a fantastic idea. So that's that set. Now, I think we got a couple more that we're going to go over, and then we're going to call it a day on the Pokemon because, again, I don't want to bombard you guys and girls with all this. We will be covering the rest of this in a couple upcoming webinars, as well as where we can find these. And, you know, there's so many Pokemon cards that we could literally keep going and going. And this, we're just only going over the singles. In the future, we'll go over the packs, and we'll go over all sorts of box things and things of that nature. So the next set is the Hidden Legends set. And this set, again, not too much going on in this set. The only holo worth anything is the Jirachi holo, which they just recently remade the Jirachi into a box. It's a set. It's one that I just crush it with, and I've been selling them left and right. At one point, they were $19.99 at Walmart, and as I told people before, there was aisles full of them, and now they're just nowhere to be found. So the X's that are good from the Hidden Legend sets are the Regice, Regirock, Registeel. And those three, if bought cheap, can make good money. So this is the Registeel X card right here. Over on the right-hand side, you can see that is a 2004 Pokemon, the Holo Hidden Legend. So that one is a 10 on that Registeel card. So that's the Hidden Legends. And then I think this might be the last one that we're going to cover this week. And this is the Fire Red and Leaf Green. And these particular sets of cards were made to celebrate the 2 Game Boy remakes. And those Game Boy remake titles were Pokemon Red and Green, which I used to play. I'm pretty sure a lot of you all played those. But the valuable cards from these particular sets were the Articuno X, the Moltres X, the Zapdos X, the Venusaur X, the Gyarados X, the Gengar X, the Charizard X, and the Blastoise X. So a lot of pretty decent amounts of cards on here. And again, that was a very well-loved Pokemon title, Pokemon Red and Green. So the fact that this came out, people were pumped, that people were buying them up, and they're continue to be very popular. Here is the Charizard X from that. It's a pretty good looking card. I like this Charizard. I like to see him in action, breathing smoke right out of his mouth. Who knows what else is coming out on that, but anyways, it's good. It's a nice little card. And that's pretty much it for the Pokemon wrap up. So let's go back to the, let's go over into the actual comments and see what people are saying, and then we'll get back to the rest of this. So let's see what we've got. Be Relaxed says, hello, I'm confused about the gift new update. If it's just up for merch markers, it's all about KDP. The gift new update, I've not actually seen that, but I believe that's probably for merch. So I'll look into that, and then I'll let you know as soon as I do the next video. So Niche says, thumbs up from France. I'm guessing you're from France. And then Niche, as all the people get mad at me, Niche KDP. But I still say Niche. It's just easier for me. I kind of can't do that smooth French thing. It doesn't sound as sexy as when you French do it, right? So, all right, let's get back into the rest of the – let's go back to the slides and finish this up. We still got a lot to go. So let's go see what else we've got here. Okay, so let's take a look at my sales. You'll notice that the only thing I'm doing, again, is Pokemon. Lately, I've been building up a lot of the group, again, that I'm working on, the Discord group, and I've been going crazy with this crypto market. So I'm in there with everybody else and doing a bunch of things that I'm trying to research and do for the channel. So with what I've been selling, again, the Jirachi, I talked about the Jirachi, and here we have the Pokemon TCG Champions Path Elite Trainer Booster Box. I still have some of those, and they are still selling. The Jirachi, I still have about 12, but over the past 31 days, I've done about $1,600, $1,587.51. This is just my side hustle, as I encourage you guys to just keep it as a side hustle. You can make full-time money if you choose to, but it's just going to take a lot of time and effort, and you're going to be packing and shipping a whole bunch. So while I don't recommend that because I don't like to do it, that doesn't mean that you all don't like to do it. So again, for now, try it out, see if you like it, keep it as a side hustle, and then in the future, decide if you want to make it more than just your side hustle. So here we have some more Jirachi box, another TCG Champions Path Elite booster, and that's pretty much all I'm selling right now. I do have several other Pokemon cards up. They're just kind of newer cards, and so I'm not going to just flip them for really cheap. A lot of people are willing to do that, but I'm looking to get a little bit more money, and I'm fine with holding them longer term, which basically means I'm going to sit on them for a month or two. So that's kind of what I choose to do on those. All right, let's talk about this recent things that people in our group have been copying as well as selling. So I kind of mix them both together. But this particular product right here is a Nintendo Switch Monster Hunter Rise Edition. So Nintendo always comes out with these special edition things, and sometimes they hit and they're a slam dunk. Sometimes they aren't. It just kind of depends on how soon you get it. So I've seen particularly the Pokemon versions of this stuff blow up, and for years later, they sell for a lot more. So this one right here, we'll see how that works out, but somebody in our group went ahead and ordered that. As well as here's a sale. This is actually Chris. So Chris sold these, I think, going to Germany. So Germany, it's not that expensive to send these out. And this is a Lady Gaga Oreos. Obviously, Germany is Google for Gaga, right? So that they bought that, and that's fantastic for Chris. And he also sold these 10 packs of the Lady Gaga Oreos. This one was going out to Texas. So I guess people are done with the storm, and now they're getting back to eating their snacks and getting back to their usual everyday life. And again, I'm from Texas, so it's looked like one rough storm. I've never seen that in my life, and obviously not so. They hadn't seen that in over 100 years. So my sister's there, my whole family's there, and thank goodness that they're all good. But let's see what else is happening. All right, let's talk about the shoe drops, and then we'll go back to the questions, and then we'll see if anybody else has anything else before we talk about the newest drop of Pokemon cards that are hitting stores and what you should be looking out for, as well as what you should be expecting to make from them. So first off, we've got this. Let me just make sure I don't got any questions in the meantime. I hate to miss questions sometimes. No, it looks good. All right, let's see what we've got here. All right, so the first drop is going to happen. This is the 26th. I think the 26th is tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow. This is the Nike Waffle 1 SE from the Whitaker Group shoe. And this one is doing extremely well right now. Numbers show on StockX. So that basically tells me that you're going to be able to get some decent money on this shoe if you can actually grab this. I believe this one will be on the sneakers app. I didn't check it really quickly, but I will let you guys know next time. This one, the Adidas NMD, the Pharrell Human Black Pack. This is for Pharrell Williams. It drops the 26th. Lately, all the shoes that Pharrell Williams has dropped have been doing pretty well. In the past, they didn't do too well, but this will be on the Adidas app. And these are usually pretty easy to cop. You will be able to get some lunch money from it. So it basically means you're not going to break the bank on this, but you'll probably make 30 to 40 bucks if you can cop this. And I've had some pretty immense amount of success with Yeezy and Adidas lately, so I don't think this will be that hard to actually grab. I would go for the size 9, 9.5. On the 27th, on the Nike sneakers app, we got this Jordan 4 Retro, the Taupe Haze. This one will definitely be hot. It's going to be fire. There's already a pretty decent amount. It's going for that on StockX. So if you can get your hands on this one, this will definitely be a big winner, and you'll definitely be seeing some pretty decent money. The next one on the 27th is the Yeezy Boost 350 V2 Ash Blue. There is also a second version of this shoe dropping the same date. That's the 350 V2 Ash Stone. Both of these shoes really well hyped, really well liked. You will really get some decent money, and it's looking like a little bit more than lunch money for these. I believe as of the time that I put this together, the Ash Stone looks like it's going to do a lot better. And the way you get that information, remember, is you head on over to StockX and you take a look at what the bid is. If the bid is very high, then you'll know and you'll have a good idea of how much you could actually get. So these two are definitely going to be worth your while. On the 27th, on the Adidas app, that should be live on there. And also on the 27th, we got this Nike Blazer, the mid ready-made black. These are going to do excellent. And there is another color for these too. It's the ready-made white. Either one of these are showing really good numbers so far. Again, these will be available on the sneakers app, so do not forget on the 27th. And you're going to notice there's a shit ton of shoes that are being dropped, and all of them are pretty good. So I would go for all these, as it only takes like 10 to 15 minutes of your day. And if you grab one, you're going to have a good week. I'll tell you that much. On the 4th of March, after the 27th, there's a bit of a gap there. But on the 4th of March, this Jordan 4 Retro Golf White Cement is going to be a big winner. Again, this one's kind of high in demand, just like the taupe color one that we saw a minute ago. This one will do extremely well. You will definitely make some money on this one. And that is March 4th on the sneakers app. Now, we got a bunch more here to go. We still got 6 shoes to go. On the 4th, this Nike Dunk Low SP City Market. I'm not exactly sure where this one's available, so if you're interested, the numbers are pretty high in this one. I would still take a look at the sneakers app, but there is a chance that it is in skate stores. I didn't do thorough research for this, but again, this one has already really good numbers on StockX, so you don't want to miss this one for sure. Now, this next set of 4 shoes, these are going to be dropped on Supreme every single year. Supreme and Nike usually do a collab, and the collab usually blows up. So these SB Dunk Lows, the Supreme Mean Green, are also coming out with the black version of those, the Supreme Dunk Low Blacks, and the Supreme Hyper Royal colors. And then lastly, this ugly one. I don't like this one at all. Let me know in the comments if you would rock this or if you actually even like this. This is the Bark Root Brown, but all 4 of those shoes will be available on the 4th. That is through Supreme, and you can manually copy these. A lot of people are always like, oh, I've got to fight all these bots, but I've actually had quite a bit of success manually copying on Supreme as long as I go for one product and then I check out, and it does pretty well with that. So since these will be a pretty decent price, you should be able to just go straight for one of these. I would take a look at which one's doing best on StockX, but chances are everybody else is going to do that. So I might go for the least successful one just so I can cop some. And I know for a fact that people will just buy it up because it is the collab between Supreme and Nike. I think we got one more shoe. This one is so interesting to me. Like, let me know if you would rock this too. This is an interesting one. This is on March 4th. This is the Yeezy 450 Cloud White. And this one is going to be very highly sought after, very high in demand. The numbers on StockX are already showing that. This will be available on the Adidas app. So that's where you can cop this one. This is pretty awesome. I like this shoe. I think it's pretty cool. I'd be interested to see what it actually looks like on somebody because it looks pretty crazy here, but I kind of like it. So, all right. So before we talk about the last thing that we have to talk about here, I told you today we were going to be fast and furious. Let's see if we got any more questions. So Be Relaxed says, where can I source the Pokemon cards? I already made some research, but didn't find any. So there's a couple places that you can already source the older ones, Be Relaxed. The newer ones, you can go to places like Pokemon Center. You can look at GameStop and always get on the GameStop list. Best Buy always has Pokemon cards, as does Walmart, Target. In-store, Walmart and Target have them, as well as I'm missing one other one. Amazon always stocks those too. The places that you can get them, the older versions, like garage sales, Goodwill auctions, eBay auctions of lots of cards where they have entire sets and entire parts, like pieces of the different sets. Those are the different places so far. I will have a couple other places that you can get them for. If you're looking for raw versions of cards, TCG Player has some, as well as eBay and all those sites. And Mercari usually has some sets as well. I know Mercari has them. I don't know about Poshmark. I don't think Poshmark sells anything but clothes, but I will be doing a webinar very soon on where you can actually source these cards and where you should be looking. So, all right, awesome. That's all the questions. Let me go back to the stream. Let me go back to the screen share and finish that off with what is currently out right now in stores regarding Pokemon. So right now, recently released, the most up-to-date, the Pokemon cards that everybody's looking for right now are these Pokemon Shining Fates. Now, StockX has added these. So again, you can look at StockX to give you a baseline as to what these are reselling for. Remember, StockX, you're going to pay about 12.5%, including not only their commission, but also the PayPal fee. Same thing for eBay, same thing for GOAT. They're all almost all across the board, but StockX as well as eBay are 2 places you can sell these for. And also remember, on StockX, when you sell it for the same as the bid amount, that means you're instantly going to get the money as soon as they receive it and as soon as they verify that it's legit Pokemon cards, the real deal, nothing fake from China or anything. But within the past couple days, there has been the official release of Pokemon Shining Fates, and there's lots of restocks not only online but also in physical stores like Target and Walmart and anywhere else you've seen these. Like, these have been in GameStop, they've been in Best Buy, they've been in several different places. Here are the estimated cost and sales, both retail as well as what you can potentially sell it for. So I'm going to go through all the new things that are out there, and you guys should be paying close attention, looking for these. And also, don't get tricked when Amazon sometimes will say that they're in stock and they'll say available from these sellers, because usually those sellers are resellers. So the cost that you're going to buy it from those resellers is a lot higher than what it actually costs from Walmart and places like that. So Here is the estimated cost of sales. The first set is this Kanto Power one, which is the one in the bottom right-hand corner. I've actually been lucky enough to cop the Kanto Power one, and I believe I sold all my Kanto Powers for $120. Now I'm like smacking myself in the face and like all that. I'm just so mad because I could have held these and then sold them for about 180, which they are fetching that pretty quickly, pretty rapidly. You'll sell out on them pretty fast. So the MSRP of the Kanto Power are $40. Now, here's the next set. This is the Hidden Fates Elite Trainer Box, which is up in the upper left-hand corner. No, I think that's a Shining Fate. I can't tell the difference. I haven't copped that yet. The MSRP of that is $50, and the resale of that is $130 plus. So that's doing pretty well. Then there's also the Hidden Fates tins. The Hidden Fate box is in the upper left-hand corner. The Hidden Fates tins are in the upper right-hand corner. Those are MSRP 20. Those have come out. Quite a few have come out, but they're still selling extremely well. The resale on those is $50 plus. So you definitely want to look out for those. They usually have those at Walmart and Target. And that's the only two places that I've actually physically seen them in, and I've actually bought them. The Shining Fates Elite Trainer Box, which I don't think I have up here, MSRP that is $50, the resale is $100. And then there's also the Shining Fates pin sets, which sells for about $15 in store, and they resell from anywhere between $30 and $40. And those are just like sets of pins. People are crazy about those. And then there's the tins, which are $25 to $30. They resell for $55. And then there is the Pikachu V box, which is kind of similar to those Kanto Powers. It's just as big as that. It's actually a smaller one. And it's MSRP 20. The resale's 30 to 40 on that Pikachu V box, which we've talked about in a previous episode, and we've showed the actual card, the actual box and what it looks like. Then there's also the mini tins, which sell between 10 and 15. They resell between 20 and 25. And then there's something called the collections box, which MSRP on that collections box is 50 and the resell is 80 plus. So as you can see, there's a bunch of things that you can make money on, but there's a lot of other things that you can really make money on. So I would focus on the things that you can really make money on, but I'm never going to pass up the other things, especially if I'm in a physical store and I see these things available on there. So that's pretty much a wrap. That's all I got. Let me make sure I've got everybody here answered. If there's any other questions, like I said, I will be more than happy to answer them at a later time if you guys put them on there. But if not, it looks like I've pretty much got everything answered. And if not, I will see you guys next time. But get out there, get sourcing, and get some Pokemon cards. You should be able to make some pretty decent money if you can get some. So other than that, have a fantastic day. Questions and comments, always post them below. I always answer those, and I'll see you next time.